Hello, bronies, and welcome back to another episode of All Around Equestria. I have a lot of people in studio right now, and it's kind of obnoxious, especially when people are talking while I'm trying to record.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're leaving. I have a non-brony in here with me. Her name is Brielle Hill. Brielle, would you like to share anything about bronies?
Well, first of all, would I still be called a brony even though I'm a girl? Isn't that like a Pegasus or something like that?
Actually, some girls use the term Pegasister, though I do not use it because I just feel like that's sexist, and we shouldn't have separate terms for gender that are gender specific.
I don't know. Like, if you use the word dude, like, I know that some girls use that word. Like, I use it to describe my other girlfriends, but then I say, like, dudette to some other girls. So it's more like you are still categorized in the fandom of ponies or whatever, but, like, you're just called a Pegasister, which I think is a lot more, like, it's cooler than brony, but whatever. Anyways, so what I would like to say about bronies, not to offend anybody, because really I think to each his own, but I don't mind bronies is whenever they flaunt it around, like, just like with gay people. Like, when they go to those gay pride parades and they wear diapers, like, you don't have to flaunt it around like I'm straight and I don't go around telling everybody, hey, I'm straight, look at me, I'm fully clothed, or whatever. However you want to do that. So whenever, like, bronies are, like, talking only about, like, My Little Pony, which was originally made for 7-year-old girls, I think it's kind of creepy. Like, whenever a 40-year-old guy is, like, completely fangirling over a show made for 7-year-old girls. But, like, it's whenever they post about it on Facebook, which is why I blocked Brad. It's whenever that's all that they tweet about. It's whenever that's all they wear is shirts, or whenever they have a lanyard that's covered in ponies and then their backpack is covered with ponies or whatever. Like, it's just annoying. Like, I love the Hunger Games, but I don't, like, obsess myself with it. And it's 3 fingers, not 2. All right, that's all I had to say. Bye, bronies.
Those were actually all direct attacks towards me. Every single last one of those. Brielle, you haven't you actually seen an episode of My Little Pony before?
I have. Yeah.
Here, talk some more.
I did watch an episode of My Little Pony, and it reminded me of whenever I was in elementary school watching Hello Kitty. Because, or, like, I don't know. Like, I know SpongeBob is still geared towards little children, and I know it has, like, those, like, innuendos that, like, children don't catch, but adults do. Like, I get that show has some. All kids shows do. But, like, don't obsess yourself with it. Like, I have seen an episode, and I have to say that it was the biggest waste of 30 minutes of my life. Sorry.
I feel like I've heard all this before. I have another non-brony that's in the studio with me right now, who I actually made a picture of a griffin for, Riley Gilbert.
Hello, my name is Riley Gilbert. I am Brad's friend, currently sitting on the right of him, and to the far left will be Brielle Hill. So, you know, I've been seeing a lot of fandoms recently, you know, with specifically My Little Pony, and a lot of Supernatural as well. For my girlfriend actually follows Supernatural. You know, Brad, and, you know, Brielle, you can intercept here also. How would you define the difference between fandoms between, you know, like My Little Pony, and then also the fandoms with Star Wars? I totally geek out with Star Wars. I have Star Wars everything. So mainly, what do you think the differences are
Between specifically the Star Wars fandom and the
things more on the line? You know, you can be Star Trek, Star Wars, you know, just things that have had a fandom for this amount of time.
Well, I think the main difference between the two and why, like Star Trek and Star Wars fandoms are more popular and more socially acceptable is the fact that it is geared towards the people who are obsessed with it. Like, the problem with My Little Pony, in my opinion, is it was originally geared towards 6 and 7-year-old females who, like wake up Saturday mornings or whatever to watch cartoons and see My Little Pony on. But my dad, a 43-year-old man, loves Star Trek, and like he gets excited whenever a new one comes out. Yeah, and then like my friend Riley, he is a total fan of Star Wars, and it's more socially acceptable because of who it's geared towards, which is why I think that's the biggest difference between the two.
I believe actually that the Star Trek stuff was more geared towards 20s, maybe 30-year-olds. I don't think it was ever geared towards 40-year-olds. And in another respect, Call of Duty is also a really big thing.
Oh yeah, especially Call of Duty. Call of Duty was kind of like, oh man, get me on this tangent. It began with like college students, like after school, what are they gonna do? They're gonna go home and play Modern Warfare. Now it's for like these 7th and 8th graders. Totally, it's just it's the storyline's repetitive. Don't get me on this tangent. Don't.
I was actually literally gonna say the same exact thing.
It
that
totally is.
Call of Duty was originally geared towards older people. That's why it's rated M for mature. But now you get all these little kids that are playing it all the time. And when you play online and they have it hooked onto their headset, you can just hear them, and you can tell this kid isn't old enough to be playing this game.
Right, but there's that, and then as a female, I do play Call of Duty Zombies all the time. I love that game, and that actually puts an interesting twist on because it's geared towards males. But, and going back to what Brad said about how Star Trek wasn't geared towards 40-year-old men, it came out whenever my dad was at that age group that it was geared towards, so it stuck with him. Yeah, if you grow up with something, like, that's different than being a male watching My Little Pony right now and being obsessed with it.
Yes.
Out of the way of the TV so they can watch it.
Yeah, but originally it was geared towards children, obviously. But then the creators noticed that it was getting a lot of love from people that were from males that were older. I mean, the Equestria Girls movie is a good example of how they actually took a 3-year span and they turned it into oh look, they're at high school now. And then they made it into a really unrealistic high school movie, like everything else in America. All of the unrealistic high school movies.
Speaking of unrealistic, this was another question I wanted to bring up. Bradley, why do, I wouldn't say a majority, I would say more or less a minority of your bronies, what is it with the sexual fascination? And I can see because, there's also sexual fascinations with everything, but just ponies?
Like, okay, Riley just said there's sexual fascinations with everything, but just ponies. I completely agree. This goes back to the age-appropriate thing. It's where you turn something that's supposed to be, a nice Christmas gift for your little sister, and now it's, okay, now I can't search this without finding this type of stuff. That's where you have to think, is this getting out of control?
Is this going too far?
Is this going too far?
Yes, there's... We got you cornered.
And that, my bronies, is how you get Bradley Gonzalez to stop talking.
The thing with
how do you explain it, Bradley?
The thing.
Here, I'll give you an example. I will give you an example of something that would be even mildly acceptable. When the original trilogy of Star Wars, see what I'm doing here? Star Wars came out, and when Princess Leia was all in her bikini next to Jabba the Hutt, people went like ape crazy over that. They made like erotic novels behind it and stuff. That's acceptable. She was hot. But we're looking at animated ponies. They're making erotic novels out of these. Is that acceptable, Bradley?
And with what Riley's saying, it goes back to the age-appropriate thing.
Oh
Star
my God, you're
Wars.
repeating yourself.
But I'm repeating myself because that's
true.
That's true. It's a fact. You can't take a female children's show and turn it into something that's sexual. That it makes you wonder, Bradley. What is your take?
Where is the bar? Do we raise or lower the bar? Do we lower our standards?
That's James Cameron's job.
James Cameron.
Oh my gosh. Okay, with the whole
We got Bradley.
the whole My Little Pony sexual stuff. Everybody has their own tastes.
Everyone has their own taste, but your taste shouldn't be animated ponies.
But there's
But you shouldn't flaunt it if that is your taste.
Okay, even if that is your taste, you know how creepy it is? Be like, oh yeah, man, I'm really into ponies. If you're like, not blondes or brunettes, no man, flanks. Look at that flank.
oh my God, they're using the terms. I should have
I'll
never
go
taught
it.
you
Hey,
guys
hey,
the terms.
Brad, I will say it. I will say it.
Don't you say it.
I
I'll
will
just bleep you out. I can edit this, you know.
Clopping.
But
We'll continue.
but
I'm not done. Okay, so there's a specific term that they use to generalize what they do, Bradley. They raised their standards. They know they were going too far, and now it is acceptable. It is extremely acceptable to do that in the brony community.
that's because you're talking to a group that is all love and tolerance. That's one of their things, is they are accepting of new things.
Weird. It's near pedophilic. It is, Bradley.
I have to look at this in the brony terms of I'm accepting of pretty much everything. There's such a thing as
Jessica Parker animated.
oh my God.
And you're just, and
But
you're just
there's
just
such a
oh, man,
thing
I'd go
as-
down on that.
No, I never said that. You're putting words in my mouth.
I'm not saying you say it.
I don't know. This tangent raises a good point. It also talks about the perspective of outsiders, where Riley's more caught up with the sexual interest in the ponies.
It's because he's
sexually
interested.
No. Some people are more concerned about how, just like in religion, if somebody tries to press their religion upon you, bronies try to press their feelings and thoughts about the show onto you. And there's a line that people cross with everything, and whether it be sexually or ethically, there needs to be some sort of control on this.
With that, thanks for listening.
I'm Riley Gilbert.
And I'm Brielle Hill.
I'm Jacob Gofar.
And I don't blame you for not listening anymore. The Twitter and subscribe.
I'm sure the Twitter and the subscription stuff all include the word pony or brony, so just look it up and I'm sure you'll find Brad Gonzalez.
Well, at All Around Equestria. I'm getting rubbed. Subscribe.